Alright, thank you all for coming for Secrets of Performance workshop. Here with Dr. Grove. I met Dr. Grove when I was first getting out of the military, and I was banged up beyond all recognition. I couldn't even freaking do a proper squat right. I couldn't bend this far without having pain. I'll never forget it because the first time I met him, he wanted me to do a sit-up. I thought he was out of his mind. I said, "What are you talking about doing a sit-up?" I said, "I can't bend." Well, what he had me do is take my hip flexors out of the equation by straightening my legs, had me do a proper sit-up right, just using my ab muscles, and lo and behold, there was no pain there. I said, well, this guy asked me of something, I'm just going to listen to him and unleash my knowledge and let him pour his knowledge into me. And it was one of the reasons why I'm now a personal trainer, because I was able to go through their program, get myself better, and also help fix other veterans as well. So, and then that led me to my pursuit to MPTI, and now in college get my CSCS strength and conditioning cert. So, without further ado, here's Doc Grove.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll clap for him.
Oh,
yeah. Well, right now, right now we'll clap for him. You may not later. But.
What he doesn't tell you is that he then eventually started working for us and helping to fix other broken soldiers. So he wasn't just a recipient. He actually started doling it out to people that were as hurt as he was or a lot worse. And so he honed a lot of his early skills on people who, were coming from way down here. And so what he gives you guys comes from a knowledge level and an experience level that most personal trainers will never ever get to because they'll never work with those types of individuals.
So it's your fault.
It might be. Now, I can't account for anything past the last 4 years, so. But no, thanks guys for all of you coming. Let me get an idea of where you guys are all coming from. How many of you are actually engaged in martial arts training here, or anywhere else for that matter? So just a couple of you, okay. How many of you are personal training clients of Kris or anybody else for that matter? Okay,
It's his fault.
It's his fault. Oh, gotcha. And how many of you work out at all anywhere in the world? Okay, good. All right, so everybody's active to a certain extent. Okay, how many of you work in an office environment for your main thing? Okay, good. All right, and then how many of you work in something that's service oriented, so like manufacturing or cleaning or anything like that? No. Okay. All right. Yeah, sort of, kind of. Okay, yeah. Some of us kind of cross the boundaries there. Okay, good, because you guys make up the majority of the population that I end up working with. And so hopefully the idea here is to not only give you some tools to make your fitness, to make your training, to make your martial arts better, but then also give you a way to make the rest of your life work better. So that way life becomes therapeutic, it doesn't break you down, right? So the big thing that you see most people suffering from is all the technology-driven issues, right? From sitting in front of a computer a lot, sitting in front of their technology, their phones, and there you go.
Not me, really.
And our world is breaking us by and large, and it's actually starting much earlier because I'm seeing the same problems that I used to treat 10 years ago in adults now happening in children very early. But it doesn't have to be that way. So the idea here is to give you guys tools so that way you can reverse the damage life does and then be able to perform better in all the other things that you do. Okay? So we're going to start with a couple of easy little principles. So if any of you have ever, if you're exercising, you're either trying to get strong, you're either trying to lose weight, or you're trying to perform better in the things that you're doing. And how many of you are keeping track of something? So you've got a Fitbit on and you're looking at steps, or you're tracking the weights that you're doing, or you're tracking the weight that you're losing, right? You should be tracking something. If you're not tracking something, you don't know where you're going.
You're assessing, you're guessing.
If you're not assessing, you're guessing. So I want to give you guys right up front a way to assess whether or not what you're doing is making you better or making you worse, because you get good at what you practice. So if you practice getting better, you're going to get better. If you're practicing getting worse, even though you don't know it, you're getting worse. All right? And a lot of us, unfortunately, that's what we do. We're just getting worse and worse all the time. So I'm going to give you guys some assessment tools, because I want you to test everything that I give you today. I want you to test it. And I want you to tell me if it's working for you. And I also want you, as we're going along, to identify what does work for you, because what works for you doesn't necessarily work for you. And I want you guys to take the tools that work and use them. and I want you to teach them to other people too, if you can. Okay. So what we're going to do here, so find a place where, yeah, you can get a little bit of arm space side to side there.
I feel so missed.
That was my fault. You got a lot of enemies here. Now, I want you to remember where you're at.
Stretching portion.
I want you to remember where you're at, because if you're going to test yourself, you've got to come back to the same place. And I'm going to give you 3 tests to do, and you're going to find one that works really well for you. I'm going to show you the one that doesn't work for me. All right. So for me, touching my toes has never worked, and I used to do tons of martial arts, and I still practice it. I couldn't touch my toes, but I could kick a 6'5" man in the face from this far away. So my body understood one type of flexibility, but touching my toes didn't do a dang thing for me. So I want you to remember where you're at. Okay. So first things first, knees locked. Okay, and then go down the way you want to go down and touch your toes the best that you can. Now don't force it, just go down to where your body stops and then touch your shin. Okay, do that 2 or 3 times just to kind of get the kinks out if you haven't been up much today. Eventually you're going to get to the point where you do a couple of them and you're just going to hit the same spot each time. And that's great. Because I'm actually not going to make you sweat. So, okay?
Fantastic.
So there's test number 1. Okay, test number 1. First, test number 2. Put your hands out in front, make it like James Bond, and use your fingers as kind of your sights. And what you're going to do is you're going to twist as far as you can one way, and then as far as you can the other way. Okay, do that a couple of times. Look down your fingers and see how far you're going. Are you touching the same spot each time on the wall? And once you hit it twice, you've pretty much met the end. Good. I hear people holding their breath. We'll fix that soon. Okay, and then the last one. Pick a shoulder, doesn't matter which one. You can do either one, but thumb up, nice and slow, and watch first. As you're raising it up, I want you to stop when you feel the resistance in the shoulder. Just kind of naturally stop your shoulder. Most of us can push past that resistance, but just go to that point where you start to feel that resistance. Stop there and kind of note where you're at, and also note how it feels. Okay? Now, some of you, as you're going up, you're leaning to the side a little. Try to be really honest with this. Okay? Look at your elbows too. Make sure that elbow stays as locked as you can get it. That's it, because that'll actually make your shoulder stiffer usually. Now, you're really young. You could probably tie you in a knot. Okay. All right. So first things first. We're going to look at 5 high payoffs for most of us. All right. Most of us, our feet are beat up, and we're on concrete all the time, and the feet are just terrible. Okay. So we're going to start with one really simple drill. All right. So right from where you're at here, and then we'll talk about why it's working or why it's not. Okay. Put your foot forward, just like a half step forward. And then turn your toe across your body. So it should be pointing across your body. Okay? Now, nice and tall. And what I'm going to have you do here is you're just going to tilt your ankle to the outside. So you feel a little pull right under the ankle bone. So more towards your heel, not towards your toes. And just tilt it out and then go flat again. So do that 2 or 3 times for me. And some of you, it's not going to go very far. Some of you, you can turn your sole of your foot almost 90 degrees, like her. She's going to be my example of what it's supposed to look like. Okay, good. Now go to the other foot, turn your toe across, and do 2 or 3. Yep, and see, there's a balance issue right there. We weren't going to talk about that, but we can. Okay, 2 or 3.
Mr. Jackson, we saw it.
Be nice to him.
And that's okay. If you've got a balance issue, find something like that pole or the wall to hold on to, because what's important is, are you moving well? Okay? So now, put those feet back together, go back to your testing position, and try. Try your toe touch. Try your twist. Try the arm raise. Note, does it feel better? Did it go farther? Or did it get tighter?
I'm like gonna lay on the ground.
Okay? Try your 1 or 2 tests, and then come back up here with your eyes, and we'll talk about it.
Stand up there, several.
Okay, all right, good. All right, there's no right answer here. There's no right answer. How many of you got looser? All right? How many of you got tighter? Okay, we got at least 2 people that got tighter. Okay, why is it that just by doing a simple little ankle tilt like that could potentially cause one effect or the other effect?
It was only on my left side too.
And only on the left side. Okay, and if we got down to it, we probably could find out which foot is driving the problem. It's probably not both. We'll just say this. Okay, so yes?
Maybe because you have like a knee problem and it might hurt if
That's a good one. That's actually not a bad idea. So how many of you had pain while you were doing that ankle tilt? Did you have any kind of pain? A little bit of pain, okay? Did you get looser or tighter when you were doing it?
Well, I think I got looser on the turns, but tighter on the touch toes.
Okay, cool. I love results like that. Mixed. And you said it hurt a little bit too.
Yeah, I got looser.
Oh, you got looser though. Okay, all right. So pain is one of those things. Pain, all that pain is it's your brain saying that something's wrong. It doesn't tell you what's wrong. It doesn't tell you how bad it is. Because all of you know somebody that could walk around after having been run through by a piece of rebar, and they look at down and they're like, oh, that sucks. You know, and other people that have a hangnail and they're dying and they need to go to the hospital and get morphine and everything like that, right? So pain is really subjective. It's only telling you this much about what's going on. All it is really your brain's trying to get your attention. And so just to go off of what she said, because that's actually a really good observation, what is more important to the body, performance or survival? Survival is more important. So you're driving down the street and all of a sudden smoke starts pouring out from underneath your hood. Do you step on the brake or the gas? The brake, right? Your nervous system says, I don't know what's going on, so I'm going to turn on the brake, right? So pain, most of the time, gets things tighter, right, in certain respects, and sometimes it can get a little bit looser, but it depends on how much the problem really is. So pain is one of those things that's it's very subjective, and there's good pain, and then and then there's bad pain, and then there's bad pain.
Debatable, Chris.
Usually the bad pain is the pain that happens here. The good pain is the pain that happens here, right? Typically, okay? So there's that first one. The other aspect is, notice how quickly that change occurred with just a simple thing, and we didn't even touch the back, right? We didn't touch your shoulder. So if any of those things got better, why did that get better without doing more toe touches and more twists? Well, the reason is because it's your nervous system that does all the driving. The thing that puts the brakes on or puts the gas on is your nervous system. Your nervous system is monitoring everything that you're doing at all times, and it says, am I safe or am I not safe? And if I'm not safe and this fool is hurting me, I'm going to put the brakes on. And sometimes that brakes looks like more pain, and other times it looks like tightness, other times it's weakness. All right? So we're going to go through a bunch of these things, but I want you to, again, you're going to test these things. I'm going to give you a moment afterwards to test each thing and to say, is that a good tool for me or is it a bad tool for me? And none of these are bad tools, but they might not be the right tool for you right now. And it's something that we probably need to fix. All right? And that's a beautiful part of why you've got Kris here, because he can help you fix those things from a mobility aspect. Okay? So now we're going to do some toe pulls, all right? And we're going to do 3 of them. Now, balance is not the point here; it's mobility. So I'm going to demonstrate. Just watch first. If you're trying to balance and do this with me, you're not going to get it. So what you're going to do here is you're going to put one foot back, and we'll start with the left foot. You're going to put your foot back and just let your toes rest on the ground. Now, while you're there, some of us are really tight in our toes, and you're going to feel it in the foot a lot. You're not going to feel it in the ankle. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just let that ankle relax forward, and then we're going to do a little 3-inch knee bend. And as we do that, you're going to feel a pull right in this area here. Okay? So everybody, put one foot back, and you can make your feet as wide as you need to stay balanced. Okay? But pull the ankle straight forward. Let the ankle relax forward, and then pull forward. Okay, that little 3-inch knee bend. Good. Use that pull for balance, and you'll get more out of it, I promise you.
So bring your toe.
Good. So let that ankle relax. Perfect. Now do that little 3-inch knee. That's better. You feel it more in the foot and ankle. Good. Okay, switch sides. Now, some of you are going to get mixed results on this, I can guarantee it, because you're fighting balance issues. There you go. Good. That's
crazy. I felt
Okay, good. Okay, relax. Get into your testing position and do it again. And be really honest with yourself. You want to have black and white answers. Yes or no. If it didn't affect you too much, that's okay. That's a good tool to keep around.
From a military standpoint, it's either go or no go.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Tighten up on that stuff.
I felt more pain on this side too.
And try to remember some of this stuff, because then you can go and talk to Kris later and have him help you fix it. Right?
Why do you two look like you're getting ready to go rob a store?
All right.
Oh my goodness! Like you're whining.
All right. How many of you got looser?
I'm not sure.
How many of you got tighter on that?
I get tighter on this
Tighter
side,
on one side.
and then I got looser on this
that
side, which is
All right, there you
the
go.
opposite of the other one.
Okay, next tool. So that was a middle toe pull. We're going to do an outside toe pull. Okay, so you're going to let your toe rest on the ground, let your ankle fall to the outside, and then pull forward. So now you're going to feel it just to the outside of where you felt it before. So it should be way off to the side, just off forward, just off to the side of the first
Grab your
one.
ankle to the outside. Yep, just like that. And pull forward.
And just do it.
Jackson,
You don't have
you
to
got
sit on
this.
it. So that's really twisted a lot.
Backward.
So set it up just like that.
Right.
That's it. And then you should feel just kind of near it.
You got this, Mr. Jackson.
Good.
Trust me, you
Don't
know
touch me.
It's gonna make you feel.
Good. Do both sides, 3 to 5 repetitions, and then try and do your test.
There you go, grab the outside cat, there you go. Because the idea is you want to feel it right on the outside. There you go, do that better?
And I'm only showing you 5 of like 2,000 mobility drills that we could show you, but they're 5 high payoffs for most of us.
We'd be here all day if we
Yes,
did
sir.
that.
Here, we're not gonna. I didn't change any. It's like going down.
Side to side portion.
Oh, it's definitely on this one.
You already hands bump forward on the mat, so I
Yeah.
don't know whether you're going to open up.
Yeah. So
Whenever I do them with
because
them.
after I did like
Not
the
me. I think it's because I
first
have
3,
hip issues.
I was able to get all the way down.
Right.
Palms.
Yeah, once you're there, the only
Get the
way
end of the
you
workout.
Okay,
I've been
looser?
running around all day, though.
Anybody looser?
Oh yeah.
I do the same.
Okay. Anybody got tighter on that one?
On one side.
One side got tighter. Okay, all right. So just keep a running tally on these things. All right. He knows all of this stuff, so he'll be able to help you figure it out. If you forget the name of the toe pull, just show him. He'll figure it out for you. Okay, next one, inside. Okay, so especially if you have back pain, this one's going to be potentially big for you. So foot straight back, but then put your foot to the side, let your ankle relax in, and then pull forward again.
drop your gun inside, so that's outside.
Is that hurting your knee?
So bring it
Yeah.
If you use your balance and use that pull, you'll be able to do it, I promise you.
Okay.
Alright?
Ow. Oh.
So that way you feel it here. Okay. And that way you just pull forward, just like
Okay, let the ankle fall to the inside.
there you go. Ramp it up a little bit.
And then pull
Yes.
forward.
Yeah, they're tight right
So
there.
let your ankle come towards me. So, nice and tight.
I know, right? Ow.
To the next side now.
I feel it. It's just it's not as. I don't feel like I feel the other way
Okay?
Right.
at all.
I think it's inside.
Your inside might be looser than outside too.
Okay, and then retest if you haven't tested again. Don't let your posture collapse either.
Thank you.
Again,
There
you're
you
either,
go.
either practicing getting better or you're practicing getting worse.
There you go. There it is.
Like I didn't
There
feel
it
that
is.
often. It definitely made me looser.
I'm constantly being reminded.
Oh, you got loose
Wow.
arms. Going down.
Abs.
Okay, so some things are affecting you more, not the other.
I'm doing
Yeah.
my best. But I didn't even feel that one. Like I could touch the floor. I'm like,
Good. So you got a big change on that one?
yeah,
And
but
you
I
get-
didn't feel it.
Right.
When I was doing that, I didn't feel.
Yeah, you
The other ones I felt. This one, I'm like, maybe I'm doing it wrong.
And that one's hard to feel because there's so little motion in that joint. It
Okay.
really is. Okay. All right. So far, this stuff isn't hard. It's just very precise. All right. So if you're not hitting the target, if you're not aiming for the right target, you're never going to hit it. Okay. Next, we're going to do some knees. All right. So feet going straight forward, about shoulder width apart. Okay. So look down at your feet And if your feet, the toes are going out, kick your heels out. So just roll up on your toes and kick your heels out a little bit. Okay, so like, yep, there you go, good, yep, good. And when you're doing that, you probably feel like you're screwed into the ground now.
Well, it's very unnatural for me because I'm a
He's very pitchy
Dog.
toe.
Right, understood, understood.
Or not.
Cool thing is
Definitely.
you can actually retrain that. So, unless you got a big bone issue. All right, so now what we're going to do, watch me first. We're going to start with the knees completely straight. We're going to break the knees to the side and then roll the knees around the feet, not the hips. Right? That's right. That's a dance. That's Zumba. This is not Zumba. Okay, so nice and tall. We're going to break all that direction. So break your knees to your left and then make your knees go around your feet. Now your feet are going to move. That's okay. I just don't want them rolling all over the place. You do 2 or 3 one way, and then 2 or 3 the other way. Good tall posture. Yep, don't look at your feet. They're still there. I promise.
Cat.
But occasionally you can look down and say, my feet are really moving now, and you have to fix them.
Yes.
Okay, 2 or 3 one way, 2 or 3 the other way, and then test on your own. Have you all found one assessment that you really like so far? Is it the toe touch, the twist, or the arms? Just go to that one. If that one works for you, you can just go to that one. You don't have to test them all, unless you don't know yet.
That one actually wasn't.
Okay?
That was good.
Okay? All right. And I'm not going to ask you guys to raise your hands anymore. You guys just you let them know. If you get a really big change, you know,
That was
negative or positive,
That was actually a really good positive change.
yeah, you can yell it out.
Maybe just walk
Okay.
my knee, maybe.
All right. Now we're going to get to the pelvis here. All right? We're going to do a little Zumba now. Okay? So feet about shoulder width apart. Watch, knees slightly bent, but it doesn't mean, right? Knees slightly bent, and then we're just going to do a little pelvic tilt, forward and back. So you're just like you're tipping a water bowl, forward and back. Okay? Now it's not arching your back, right? It's just the pelvis, so it's like from here down. It's belt level down. And it might be small. That's okay. Most of us guys have a problem with this because we just don't know what is going on around here.
So true.
Okay? And then we're going to do one more.
We used to have a saying there was no eye contact during this drill.
Yeah, the soldiers would be like, just don't look at each other anymore. All right. So then the next one on the same thing is we're going to do lateral. So it's like you're pulling your hip up into your rib cage here, and I'll let you cheat by raising your heel up off the ground. So like you're pulling your heel up towards your rib cage, both sides. Good. Don't bend yourself side to side, just your pelvis. So it's just like here, not anywhere else.
Let me teach you how to merengue.
That's right. Okay? And then test again.
Whatever, pretzel. I like that one.
You didn't like that one.
Pretzel.
Do you get back pain already?
Several times.
Yeah.
Okay.
She kicks like.
She hasn't learned great posture yet.
Well.
Okay, so if you found that one tightened you up, because that one really tightened you up, or at least it didn't feel good anymore, go back to one of the drills that you did that made you better. Do that drill. Do that now.
Oh, did that other one just tighten you up, maybe? Did that other one tighten you up?
I was gonna say, she probably doesn't tighten up on anything.
Well, she's doing another drill. It must have tightened her up a little bit.
She's just, she's being good. She's being good. Did you fix it? Fixed it. Awesome. Do you see how that worked? You did something that hurt you. And guess what? That happens all the time in life, right? You go to the gym and you do that one lift and your body hates that lift, even though he told you to do 5 reps of it, right? And then you can go and you can fix yourself from it, and then you can go back to the lift. And guess what? Now that lift gets better and better and better because the nervous system starts saying, okay, all right, this chick knows what she's doing. She keeps listening to me, and now it can give you more performance. So now you can get more out of the lift because you keep reinforcing that nervous system, and that nervous system builds confidence and strength behind every single rep. Okay, next one. Now this one is probably going to blow some of you guys away because most of us, we breathe terrible and our spines are terrible, all right? Because we sit too much, right? It's life. All right, So, but this one's hard, and so Kris and I are going to go around and make sure all of you are doing it because this one's really, really hard. Okay, and especially for women, because two reasons for women. One, it isn't just the sitting, because the men have got that, but bad fitting bras and things like that. And that constant tension across your back is just like your clothes. You don't walk around feeling your clothes all day. Eventually your body, your brain begins to forget that there's something there. So the same thing with that bra strap. Eventually it forgets that there's a back there. And so you stop moving around that bra strap. And so well-fitting bras are hugely important for long-term for performance, but just long-term health. So go get a good fitting one. And places like Title IX, they cost a lot of money, but if they don't work, they'll let you bring them back. And if they fail, they'll let you bring them back. And so you're paying. It's like Apple. You get the iPhone, you can go to the Apple store, and they'll take care of you. You're paying for the customer service, so don't cheap out on that. Dillard's, same idea. All right. So this is called a thoracic glide. I'm going to do it on myself, and then I'll accentuate it on Kris here. So nice and tall. That means heads towards the ceiling, collarbones up as well. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a deep breath. Just watch. Don't do. Breathe out. And as you breathe out, you use your hands to push into your chest and round out around your hands. So it's like you're pushing to the back wall with your spine. And as you breathe out and collapse around that. Now you're not collapsing like this. You're just pushing it back, flexing back, and then breathe in. Pulling that spine forward and lifting up towards the ceiling here. So watch Kris here. Turn a little bit more. There you go. Yep. All right. Okay, so deep breath in. It's right here. He's going to pull this point to the back. There you go. Good. Now breathe in. And lifting up. So breathe out. Let that drop. And then breathe in. Okay? All right. All right, so Kris and I are going to go around and make sure that you're getting at least one good rep in. All right? All right.
I know this one. I'm not good at it.
All right, so nice tall posture. Use your hand to help you coach yourself.
Good push.
Push that backwards. Hook the person behind you with your spine. Breathe out. Breathing's huge. And up and down. If you do a couple of reps, stop for a second, shake it out, and then try again. Why not? That way I don't push you over. This is a martial arts
Push her
class.
over. Push her over. Okay.
So,
Seriously.
one out, deep breath in. Breathe out.
That's how the farther you're going back, cat, you're
But
wrong.
there's motion.
Push your,
Start
you're
small
supposed
and
to
get
be
bigger,
here
I
or
promise.
back.
Okay?
You're what?
Okay, so okay, so now stop right there, breathe, and stay in that spot. Breathe. Now turn off those shoulders. There you go. Your shoulders are not part of your spine. Okay, now breathe in, hold that forward, tall. Good, breathe out. Good. That's much better. That's much better. Good. Just stay aware of those. Shake it out after you do a few, and then until we all get around to you.
Breathe out and push right here.
Nice. Now turn off the shoulder. There you go. Good. Breathe in, forward. Good. Now the danger you have is that you already have a lot of lordosis, that big sweep in the back, so you don't want to accentuate that. So you want to
You're
try to
not
keep
even
that up
sweating.
and just that upper spine. So you actually
My
have.
husband.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. I was like,
You're talking to her.
You actually have to look at yourself a little bit.
No, he was giving me a dirty look because I woke him up to make him come here.
And say, you don't want to move that.
Okay.
Go for a couple more reps.
Thanks, Mr. Jackson, for being here for me. All these women from me. Couldn't let you down.
And then test yourself if you've been looked at by Kris or I.
Good.
Krista.
Crystal?
Gang member.
Breathe out.
Bang, bang.
That one tighten.
Oh, what?
Breathing? That one tightens me.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
We only went this far.
Did it with
But
him?
it's the nervous system. It's not so much the.
I know, it's weird.
I don't like you, Wendy. You do. You
I
miss
don't.
me.
I don't. She miss you.
She did miss me.
I miss
She
her.
had
me. but
This one I will ask. How many of you got better? Okay. How many of you got tighter? All right. All right. This one I can guarantee you for all of you is really, really necessary because most of us just from here to here just don't move well. And if you were in the military and were wearing kit all the time, that was locked into you just because of the kit restricting. And most of us are learn not to move during our day.
Yeah, the two areas I was tightest from coming from the military is my thoracic and also my ankles because I was wearing constricted boots all the time. So my ankle had no idea where it was in space and time. Just like my thoracic, I didn't know I could do this or side to side or anything like that. No, that's what your thoracic's meant to do is move all around, right? And your lumbar is supposed to be stable. What was happening was my thoracic became tight. And when that became tight, my lumbar had no choice but to become mobile. And that's where a lot of my pain stemmed.
Yeah, so if you've got low back pain at any time, it's usually because this is stiff here, and then you're stiff around here too, and so this becomes the place where everything moves, and what moves breaks, all right? So it's also restricting breathing, and so if you're one of these individuals who gets a little anxious from time to time, a lot of us do, right? Breathing can be a huge part of that, and so just by getting better mobility in the thoracic spine, you'll breathe better, anxiety goes down, performance goes up, a lot of things, and back pain goes away, all right? And for most of us, okay? All right, so one last one, all right? And then we're gonna get on the ground and do some fun stuff, all right? Take one arm out in front of you with the elbow straight, okay? Now, if you've got any kind of pain, drop it below that pain, okay? So, and out just a little bit away from your body, so this way, okay? So what we're gonna do here is it's this part of the shoulder that's moving, we're going to draw a box. It's called a camshaft. We're going to draw a box. We're going to go straight up, straight back, down, and forward. Okay, so up, back, down, and forward. Now try to keep that elbow out of it.
Just the shoulder. Just concentrate right on that shoulder. Don't let your scapula take over. Don't let that trap.
Yes. That's great. That's great. Yeah, so we want the thumb up, really like that. There you go. For right now. Good. And if it's a small motion, that's okay. That's fine.
Till you touch me, I was.
We'll get there. And usually if you relax more, you get more out of it. So don't try to, it's not a weightlifting thing, so don't go. Okay, do both sides, both directions. So if you go clockwise one way, go counterclock the other way.
Down.
Shoulder. Good. And then when you're done with both arms, 3 to 5 repetitions, both arms, retest. Boy, you really hate Kris right now, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not just now.
It's like within 2 days of any.
She had me Thursday, so that makes sense.
Yeah, any time that's like 2 days.
Yeah, I'm not
after.
super sore because my last time was Wednesday,
Yeah,
so
see?
I'm still a little tight, but
That
it's not
2-day
as
rule.
well. I've been up since 5 baking cake, so
Good.
I was tight this morning when I first woke up, but then I started working like I got more of that.
Now, are you still tighter from the last one?
And I'm tight from that one.
Okay, do
leg one.
and the spine, the upper spine and the shoulders are linked because this rides on top of this. So go do one of the drills that seem to help you and fix yourself.
So your knees were high
Fix
payoffs?
yourself.
Yeah.
Fix myself. That's impossible.
Yeah.
I'll cramp this.
Yeah. Breaking around.
So much to fix. I don't think it can be done.
That's all right. And the nice thing is if you find something that isn't working really well, that just means that you've got a point of improvement that you probably haven't exploited yet, and that's going to help you break the next barrier in your performance, in your fitness, in your weight loss, and all that. So don't take it as a bad thing.
Because I know we've done it for
No, I
my
didn't.
lifting.
Yeah.
Because
not bad.
they're completely straight elbows. It's
Yep.
all open.
Not kidding.
Say again?
They're not bent.
That's not good anymore.
That's why I stopped after a session at the end. I opened back up so I make sure you're.
So did you fix yourself?
Yeah.
Cool.
Those always work well. When
It's
I
gonna
do
take much
these, when I do those with them, it always tight you like.
Right, because guess
I
what?
have
You're
that
moving
crap,
this.
and I have that bad posture.
Yep. Okay. All right. So those are the 5 high payoffs. All right, and we'll put this on a Facebook link so you guys can look it up and everything. Okay. And then, of course, always come to Kris and ask him to review it for you too. Okay. All right. So now we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to go down and we're going to do something that actually comes out of martial arts, but we've adapted it to really help a lot of individuals, and it helps free up hips, knees, and hips, and low backs and such like that. And if you've been working with Kris, he's been introducing this, I know, to some of you already. Okay. So down to the ground. I'm going to have Kris demo, and I'll talk it over. Okay. So lay on your back. Arms out to the side, and if you have to, look up here, of course. Ankles together, knees bent. Okay, so feet flat, knees bent.
You've seen me do these.
Yep, feet flat. So bend your knees, feet flat. Good, there you go. Keeping your ankles together, let your knees, keeping your shoulders down, let your knees fall from side to side, and keep your ankles stacked. Nope, together, side to side. Together that way. There you go. And keep your ankles stacked. So your ankles should be one on top of the other.
Yep. Make sure you breathe out when you get to that sticking point.
Yep, and breathe out as you drop your knees from side to side. Now, as you're doing it, you'll probably feel some stretch in the spine, but you might even feel this all the way up into your shoulders, into the front of your shoulders. That just shows you how connected things are. And you don't want to be that connected. All right? Now, everybody roll to your left side.
That's this way.
Thank you, Mom. You're welcome.
All right. Keep your ankles stacked and roll your whole body to the left side. So lay on your side. Lay on your side. There you go. Put your hands out in front like you're clapping. Here. Okay. Carol, come over here. Keeping your knees bent and your hips in their position. Breathe in. As you breathe out, reach back and try to bring your shoulder to the floor. So look over your shoulder. Follow your hand. Good. And then back together. Do that 5 times. Breathe in and then breathe out as you reach back to the floor. Good. How old are you? 9. Only be 9 again. If you've done 5 on one side, flip over and do the same thing, 5 on the other side.
Hi.
Point straight.
Yep. And then when you're done on that, 5, then lay flat on your back with your knees bent still. Good. And you probably noticed that one side's tighter than the other, things like that. Most of us are very asymmetrical, where we're tight through one side, we're looser on the other. Okay. So once you get those 5 done, lay on your back. Look at Kris real quickly here. He's going to show you. So no, actually, feet together still. You're going to cross your right ankle over your left knee, and then you're going to pull that left knee with using your right ankle down to the floor. So you're going to pull the knee to the floor across your body. Okay? Do a couple of times in that position. Now this one you might find really pulls on the shoulder. And it actually pulls it up off the ground. That's tight. Pull it this way.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Okay? Now, keeping your feet in the same position, walk your left foot about 5 inches left. And then do a couple more repetitions. So walk your left foot left. Left foot left. Oh. There you go. Yep.
Left, left.
Left, left.
Same,
Other
same.
left. Your military left.
Same, same.
I'll write it on your hand.
Okay, so it's a little bit different pull on the hip. Now walk your left foot left 5 more inches. At this time, you probably are finding that that left knee is falling directly under your hip now. If it isn't, go 1 more. Okay? All right, switch feet. So cross your left over your right, and then pull your right knee down towards your left. Do a couple in that position, and then walk your right foot right 5 inches. I know, it gets complicated, doesn't it? Right, right, left, left. Good. So 2 or 3 repetitions, and then walk your foot to the side a little bit, and then 2 or 3 more repetitions. Now, for most of us, this feels really good to get the hips relaxed. and stretched out. Most of us are really tight. That might say something about your personality.
Melina.
Good.
My personality is sunshine and roses.
Okay.
Sweet.
So everybody's knees should be in line with your hips on this last set. Okay. Now, feet flat again, knees bent, but this time put your feet about shoulder width apart. And if you got long lower legs, you might go a little bit farther. Now, what we're going to do here, this is called a Shinbox. So this is all leading up to the start of what's called a Shinbox. So let me have everybody watch Kris here real quick. Just sit up for a moment. He is going to do the Shinbox, and he's going to let his knees fall the same direction. And if you looked down on him, he's got his shins at almost a 90-degree angle. That's the Shinbox, okay? And then he's going to let it shift to the side here. And you hear him breathing? He's getting out of his own way by breathing. And I'll show you why that's important here in just a moment, okay? Fall side to side, all right? So go for that. Do 5 repetitions, both directions. So your knee should be falling on the inside of the front of the other foot. Good. Good. Some of us, this is easy. Wonderful. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Okay, so once you're done, sit on up. Okay, we're not done yet, but I want to get this breathing thing really figured out, okay? So why is breathing important? Because
if you don't,
Because if
a corpse pose, right? A permanent corpse pose is what occurs, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, breathing is important for that, okay? That's the obvious one, but why else?
Oxygen to your muscles.
Oxygen, it fuels performance, right? It also helps us get rid of tension, right? Now what you're doing when you're breathing out is what's called anatomical breathing. So if you're doing a sit-up and you hold your breath, you're working against the air in your lungs, and you're having to move through tension. If you breathe out as you're doing it, you're going to be getting rid of that tension, and you're not working against yourself. The other aspect is it's also stress management. What do I mean by stress management? When you're under stress, we'll take like, here's a good example. How many of you have ever ridden on a roller coaster? Okay, good, perfect, everybody's been there. Are you relaxed going over the top of the hill? You go, whoa. No, most of us are like, holy crap, right? And it adds to the enjoyment, but that's a stress response. And you hold your breath and you, right? It actually feels better to yell. That's why you hear so many people scream, because that's the natural reaction to get rid of some of that stress. But most of us are still white-knuckling it when we do it. But here's the other thing. Most of the stress that you encounter in life in general, but especially in physical situations, is not as bad as you think it is. And here's just a really practical little demonstration. So Kris has done this before, okay, and I'm going to let him hurt me. He's going to tighten up my wrist here. Now right here, this is an agreement. Yeah, he's already going hard. This is an agreement here, so I'm safe because I know he knows what he's doing. But he's causing pain at my wrist. Now, he went a little bit further, and I actually have pain in my elbow, right? And you can see the twist in my elbow right there. You can see the muscles, right? So now he can direct that up into my shoulder by just, by pushing it that way. And you see how my body was trying to get away from his push there, all right? So now he can also push it into my neck, okay? Right? And I'm not going to try to get away from him. And to the point that he can start to affect my whole body from one problem here. So he's going to take me to the ground. So he's going to, okay. All right, good. Lock it in really well. Put yourself behind it. No, that way. That way. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So now I've got a lot of tension. It's even making my abdominal cramp right there. Okay. So, but again, the point of pain is where his hand is. So at this point, I need to get back what he's taken away from me. the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to concentrate on the only thing I have available, because I can't, I'm not going to get much from him. He could just step away and keep applying the pressure here, right? And so I'm not going to be able to defend myself. If I try to muzzle him, look at how big he is, all right? So I'm going to breathe. I'm going to get back my breathing. And already the stress drops down. And now I don't feel it nearly as much, especially in my spine here. And to the point that moving my spine feels actually kind of good now. Same thing with my neck. As I breathe, then I can start looking at where can I get more control back. Okay? And now my shoulder feels good.
And
My
your
shoulder
hand
doesn't
starting
feel
to turn
painful.
Back to color.
Say again?
I say your hand is getting some color back.
Yep, that's true, because there's breath right now. So now, if I've got my shoulder back, let's see if I can get some of my elbow back, okay? Now for him, the experience is still the same. For me, I'm much more comfortable. I'm much more at the point where I feel like I can handle this, and now the pain's all in one place. It's where it should be, at my wrist. But that allows me to now be able to move around my own body and be able to take things into a different direction. Get rid of the stress entirely, which is get rid of the pain. Right? So
He has a pain. You get that.
the point here is that most of the pain that we incur, whether it be a back pain or other things like that, is actually much smaller than we think it is, and we make it worse. We get in our own way. So breathing is a huge thing. It's performance. It's life, it's performance, but it's also that stress management piece. So we're going to really concentrate on that breath now, and we're going to use that to make that hip motion easier. All right? So go back into that Shinbox position, so feet about shoulder width, and really accentuate your breath. I should hear wind blowing through the whole room. All right? So take deep breaths in and breathe out as you let your knees fall from side to side. Accentuate the breath. Don't be bashful. This is not, no one here is judging you, except for Kris.
Always. And Kat. Yep, and me.
So in here,
Good. Good, that's better.
force the exhale, force the inhale. See how much breathing you get out of that? And breathe out. And force.
Now, how many of you that's making the hip motion easier?
Yeah.
Good. All right, so now we're going to make it harder, and it's going to force you to breathe a little bit more. Everybody prop yourself up on your elbows like you're watching TV, and you're going to do the same thing. Let the knees fall from side to side. Breathe, because now if there's lots of tension up here, which this position puts it in more tension, it's going to very much limit your hips. Breathe. See how breathing is so hooked into so many other functions of our body. Some of us are already super flexible. Right?
Oh my God.
I never thought of myself that way.
Yeah.
Cool. I love that laugh.
Yeah, she could probably turn 360. All right. Now, everybody prop yourself up on your hands behind you. So replace your elbows with your hands. Keep those keep those knees bent, and continue to do it. Breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good, yep. Breathe through those sticking points. Breathe, accentuate the breath. When you feel like you're stuck somewhere, breathe more. Get those feet farther apart. There you go. There you go. So that way the knee and the foot kiss. Good. Now you probably feel that your hands are getting pulled. Start walking your hands forward as you do this with every repetition. You're going to eventually sit up straight. Good. Okay, now as you get up straighter, it gets to the point where you feel like if you don't let go with one hand, you can't get up any higher. Let go of that hand that wants to come off the ground and push yourself upright as much as you can. And then breathe out, and then push yourself upright as far as you can. When you come up tall, breathe in, and you feel how that helps you sit up straight. Use that breath.
I swear.
Now you're cheating.
I'm not cheating now.
You're cheating.
But I wasn't cheating.
Okay? And now we're going to go full hands off. All right? So breathe, and as you breathe, push your feet into the ground and shift over the top of your feet. Don't shift your feet underneath of you. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Okay, how many of you are getting a little stuck? Right? And it feels hard. So you're moving your feet, so that's cheating. She's finally got it. All right, so watch this. Watch this. If you're having to shift your feet from side to side to make this happen, you're getting in your own way. Okay? And some of us just need to work on some flexibility too. So what I want you to do here is as you're shifting, I want you to breathe more. So it's called burst breathing. So watch this. And as I shift, I'm going to go
Like labor.
Exactly.
It's like labor.
Lamaze. Yep, right? All right. So try that. See if that helps you get that control back that allows you to shift your knees further.
There you go.
Good job.
Whatever, flexible. Just smile at me. That's it. You're grounded. You're grounded.
No TV for a week.
She's ours.
Oh. You share the responsibility. Keep her this way, though. Keep her
She's
this
in
way.
martial arts. That's
Good.
why she's coming.
I keep getting close to
I
you.
know.
I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
Well, I'll tell you what. Even because I work with a few Taekwondo. Good, very good. Okay, good, good. Okay, everybody stand up and test yourself. So I work with a Taekwondo guy.
Oh, yeah. Coming all over the floor.
All day, and then that follows them into the dojo, and they never fix it because they never know to focus in.
Don't call me that.
Well, there's one thing I'm going to have him work when she does her kicks, is the eye push-ups.
Yes.
To help focus her.
Oh yeah.
That's how I'm doing this.
Yeah, I saw that before you.
Yep.
All right.
Kids. I told you were. Everybody sees that you're flexible.
Oh, I can even get further.
Yeah, if you're doing a test and it really throws you on the ground,
He's
you're
not hurting.
Right? Amazing how that works.
I know.
right. Okay, so I hope that you all found a tool or few that has helped you start moving better. Now, those are that's kind of like the easiest point to get into the system to start fixing it, right? But you still have all of those should be helpful to you. At least they shouldn't break you. All right. So if any of those movements broke you, and those are normal movements of everyday life that you're doing, chances are you're walking around life breaking yourself at one point or another, and you don't know you're doing it. So stop doing it. Right. So start working on mobility before you work on flexibility. All right. Now I want to demonstrate also how this really affects strength, and it goes to martial arts, it goes to working out, and it just goes to life in general. So I'm going to use him. He's big.
Guys, you're gonna break me.
Yeah. Lay on your back. Lay on your back, and I'm going to actually have somebody else.
to hurt Kris.
You know, awesome. Let's see here. I'm going to use you. Come over here. You're gonna be mean to him.
Step on it.
Everybody's going to love seeing you be mean.
Yes.
We're gonna love
My offspring used to hurt Kris.
Pause for that. Let's go.
Yeah, you do get
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. So what he's going to do, he's a big guy. So I'm going to just show you how big he really is. So he's going to push into my hand going that way. Okay. And I can pretty much drag him, right? And so I want you to get down here. You're going to get in your place here. You're going to get right here, and you're going to push with both hands like this. Okay. Okay. Can you do that? Okay. Do it. And use your whole body.
You got this, baby girl.
Okay.
Get
So put both hands right here. Both
Yep.
hands.
Push hard. Push
Good
hard.
for us.
Come on.
Push hard.
Show
Push hard. Push hard. Push
Show what
hard.
you made
Push
of.
hard.
Come on. So
Go.
strong. Be strong. Good. Okay. That was pretty hard, huh? You're putting everything behind it. Okay. Now I've never done this with kids before, so this will be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing that Army does really, really well is break feet.
Nice. In any military.
Now you can ask him, did that hurt?
No.
Okay. Okay. Come on up here again. Okay, no.
No, you're gonna do the same thing as you did last time, baby.
Push on this. You're gonna push on this thing. Okay. No. Go. Okay. Good.
Woo!
Okay.
Yeah.
So And what does it feel like to you, Kris, as you're fighting her?
It just felt like my muscles were giving up.
Right. It's just he's working harder for less effect. And you saw how his body started turning. He lost stability, even against that. Right? Yes. Right. So here, breathe back up again. Oh, no. So he just doesn't have the longevity to that motion. So now he's going to use that toe pull motion to fix himself. Okay. So he's feeling that pull right there. So you see how easy this idea is? Okay. Okay. Go. Make him
Alright,
move.
Chica.
Make him move. Make him move.
Do it, baby, do
You
it.
see how his whole body, nothing moves now. Right? We're doing this to ourselves all the time. We're wearing crappy shoes. We're on hard floors.
Almost. She's like, I'm gonna
She's
take
determined.
She's like, I'm gonna get it.
Right?
Good job.
We're wearing crappy shoes. We're sitting in terrible chairs. We're on hard floors. I mean, even students are having this problem now because they're in school so much, right? We're in desks more often than ever before in the history of mankind. And so you're doing this so it doesn't have to be that way. But you got to fix what you need to fix. So if things broke you today, you got to fix those things. Schedule time with him, okay? And if they're worse broken than that, he'll tell you to come see me.
Yeah.
All right? And then you're walking around life getting stronger and better in everything that you're doing. And eventually life stops breaking you. And you know when things go wrong, and you know that you're now empowered to fix them. And now you're no longer a slave to doctors and therapists to fix things, right? You are the master of your own destiny in that sense, and being able to get stronger and better and more resilient when the rest of the world is falling apart. Okay? So does anybody have any questions? No?
Yeah, so you recommend doing those exercises like every day?
Oh yeah, totally. And you're going to find certain ones just feel good. And when you do this kind of stuff on a regular basis, it starts as kind of a habit. You're going to find yourself standing in line at the grocery store doing toe pull because your brain goes, that makes me feel better. And you watch kids do that kind of stuff all the time. They're always moving, right? They don't just stand still, right? They can't do it. We learn to do that.
A funny story, when I was at a seminar, I was actually studying cadavers. I was at this place, it was a Pikes Peak Medical Center.
Okay. Yeah.
And they saw me doing all these different drills and things like that, and they're like, I've seen that before. And they went, yeah.
Okay, the Anatomical Research Institute.
Yeah. They saw me doing all these, lumbar drills and things like that, and they're like, I've seen that before. And they went to go ask Doc, and they said, do you know a big redheaded kid that does all these funny movements? He's like, yeah, that's Kris. Like, right away, just because they feel so good, I want to do them all the time. Especially with my powerlifting things. Every time between sets, I'll do pelvic tilts, thoracic stuff, just to get stronger.
Yeah. I mean, that stuff that he does is meant to build him up, but it's hard on the body. It's stress on the body. So he does those things to keep himself feeling good, so he wants to do more. So does that answer that question?
Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
So does that really help your knees? Because most of my stuff is like right here.
Yeah, so the knees is not just the knees. So most problems that we have, if you've got back pain, it's not just a back pain. That's just where you feel it. All right, same thing with knees. It starts at those feet and how those feet are feeding up, because the feet is the foundation of the house, right? And if you don't make a solid foundation, the house doesn't sit right, the doors don't close quite right, the picture's always cattywampus on the walls, things like that. Same thing with the knees. If the foundation, the feet, aren't working right, then the knees don't work right. And you can never fix the knees without fixing the feet. Same thing with the hips. If the hips are driving things, and for a lot of us they are because we're tight so many other places, that is driving into the knees. So don't think about it as just knee pain or problems. Think about everything else. Because the cool thing is you might have back pain, but by fixing your ankles, you might fix your back pain, right? Whereas we can keep going. It's kind of like scratching an itch. It never goes away. So stop scratching the itch. Find out why you got it, right? So find out why you have that pain. And the best thing to do is move more. Now, one of the things that you can do is make sure you got good shoes. Most of us cheap out. We go to Walmart and it's like, that looks good. I think it's a little sexy. We'll go for it, right? Right? That's pretty much how we pick our shoes for the most part, right? You got to be critical with that. Some of your shoes in your closet are frequently breaking you. Guess what? You now have the tools to find out if they are. So even today, after when you walk around, test yourself. throw on your shoes, walk around for a second, and test yourself again. If you get tighter, or if you cause yourself pain, guess what? The shoe's probably breaking you. All right? Test those things. And then next time you go to the store, do the same thing. Do the same thing. And then I highly recommend, make the investment. Go to some place like Runner's Roost where they actually know what they're doing. Not all running stores do. They're looking at you like this and not just like a pair of feet.
Both of those.
And they'll watch you move and they'll say, oh, this is a good shoe for you. It made everything work better. Not just your feet look good.
Yeah.
Okay? Spend the money. Again, you're buying the customer service, not just a shoe.
Is there a way to fix supernating and pronating?
Totally. All right. We're going to do that right now. Or at least we're going to start doing it right now. Okay? We're going to do a foot strengthening drill. Okay? So you've learned how to make your feet more mobile. Now we're actually going to do something that will start putting strength behind your feet, which is what makes those feet stop pronating. All right? Because most of us are pronators, where the foot is rolling in. All right. So if everybody looks down at your feet, all right, if you don't see a shadow under your foot, an arch, all right, you got flat feet at some level. Okay. Most of us have some flat-footedness. Now watch this though. Okay. Actually, you've got somewhat flat feet. Come on up here.
Thank you.
No, I'm gonna show you that she's not broken, right? So this is this is one of those situations. I can't speak for up here.
She is.
This isn't support.
Oh,
Up your butt.
All right.
They missed me the last week.
Yeah, I could tell.
So turn slightly this way. There you go. Okay. But I've been watching her move. She's not broken to the point that she needs to have orthotics and the podiatrist and everything like that. So watch her arch, which is, you know, it's flat. You know, she's not walking on the inside of her ankle yet, thankfully. Well, stop that, okay? Because that might fix your back pain. So what I'm going to have you do, don't do it yet. I'm going to have her go up on her toes, and then I'll have you test yourself. So I'm going to have you go up on your toes. But what I want you to do is watch the inside of her foot. Look at how flat it is now. So now start to roll up onto your toes. You see an arch there now? Okay. She still has the ability to have an arch. The only thing that changed there was that muscles said, oh, I've got to do my job now, and it pulled her arch up into position, right? Right now, when she's standing there and probably walking around, they're kind of dumb. The muscle is dumb, and it's letting the structure fall. Okay, so we're gonna all start fixing our arches right now. So everybody, come to this side of the room.